shit. Alright, so can't see them from there. Maybe I'll put them up here. No. Okay. So we're gonna have to tear out the entire contents of the bottom shelf. Got the hatchet, plies, got these split shots that I forgot to have, that I forgot I had. So I bought more, which are in my car. Don't have them in my box yet. Bought this line. Didn't like it, so I wanted line that was the same color, but different poundage. Forgot that this was 20 pound. Picked up more 20 pounds. So now I just have a bunch of 20 pound tests that I don't really like. Here are the bob stops. Might as well go through all my gear. I've got these snips, trout bait. This is called power bait. Everybody knows it. You know, not everybody, but you know, it's very popular in the trout world, obviously. Then I have these Tiger power grubs, or watermelon shaky worms is actually what these are. And those have not really gotten me a lot of response, you know, so I don't really use them too much. I would put them on a wacky rig, if anything, you know, and just try to catch some catfish with it, but I haven't went catfishing in a while. Here are some fire eggs by Polsky. Don't know if that's a good brand or not, but fire eggs by Polsky. I heard goldfish and carp really like eating stuff off of the bottom of, you know, pond floors, you know, and river bottoms. So I got these eggs, hoping that I can catch something like that, because there's this pond not too far away from me that there's many goldfish in, and this is what they like. So I'm gonna go try to catch one with one of these. And I also have red ones somewhere. They're probably in my car, but here are my beads, which I want to put another small bead on it. Yeah, that's pretty much it for down there. And I've got a bunch of different kinds of frogs. I got orange fluorescent frog with gold highlight. I've got these frogs, and you'll notice that the back strings are a little shorter. That's to mimic the actual length of frog legs. They do make frogs that have actual legs on them, which I'm going to try those out, because those honestly look a little bit more effective, a little bit more natural, and that's what, you know, fish that go after these, they look for that. They look for the natural movement, maybe even a frog that is injured or vulnerable in some sense. So I have a bunch of frogs that came from my brother, and got a bunch of these spinner baits and crank baits, but I think this is a chatter bait right here. I think this is a chatter bait right here, or flutter, whatever. I don't know what they call it. I've got a bunch of them. Not a bunch, but you know, I've got a few. I also really like using these little grubs right here. These little crankbaits. This one was a large bill, I think, crankbait. But it was small, so I mean the bill was pretty small. But the smaller one of that was like very small, so I call that one a large bill. This is also something that I've gotten a lot of reaction on because of the fluorescent green. I think that's a really good color, and the white. I will always catch fish on anything white. Anything white. I mean, I don't know why they like it, but they love stuff like this. They love the color white for some reason. I think it absorbs, or rather reflects, a lot of sunlight off of it, making it look like an actual minnow. I've not seen a lot of reaction out of stuff like this. Rattle baits, not seen a lot of reaction out of them. Hopefully one day I will, because it is a pretty nice looking bait. I'd love to I'd love to catch something off of it. I don't like the fact that it's treble hooked, double treble hooked, but you know, whatever. It's not a big deal. I can always take one of the trebles off. Yeah, I've gotten a few hits out of this boy right here. He's pretty colorful. The pink, I think, is what does it. And oh yeah, this is what that goldfish grabbed. I mean, he was big, he was huge, but he grabbed this right off the ground of the pond and took it, but I could not get it set for the life of me. I don't even know if I have this hooked right, but probably not, to be honest. And yeah, so that concludes like all the stuff that I've ever gotten fish on. Like, I have this. I'll never use it, but I'll find a use for it, I guess, sometime later on. For when I, actually, yeah, we will be using stuff like that because we just bought a boat. And I'm very excited about it. We're gonna get everything registered and go out hopefully by next week. So yeah, great news, right? Great news. Alright, all this stuff aside, let's get back to it. First thing you need to do is take one of your Bobby straps. Ooh, don't drop them. Don't let all this stuff fall out, because that's not good. And I guess I will use one of these small microscopic beads that comes with them. Okay, so yeah, the first thing always is the bob stop, and you just take it. It comes on this little black tube. You just take it and put it right through that tube. Simple. You don't have to tie anything off. You don't have to worry about anything else. Okay, now you can choose to put a bead right underneath of it, which is what I'm gonna do with this green guy. Maybe I should do that with one of the red guys. Yeah, let's do that with the red guy. Big one first. Okay. Now we've got our bead. We've got our bobber stop, and then we've got our bead. Then next goes on the bobber. Put it on tip side up, right like that. So the black part will be floating on the bottom, just like that. Boom. And so when you pull your stuff, oh, yeah. Pull your stuff from the water, well, this is normally tied off. It'll go and click, and that apparently tracks the fish. Like I said, I've never seen it do it, but we're just gonna go ahead and believe that. And now, directly underneath of that, we're gonna do another larger red bead. And we're gonna do, after that, this green bead. Like that. Bam, bam. See him? Yeah, he's tiny, but he might be the difference maker. Who knows? And then we get another split shot. Again, the smallest one you can find. Because you don't want too much weight up on there. You know, you want it kind of to float. Just a little bit. You know what I mean? So, boom. Put that right underneath of the wherever you want it to stop. So then you get your length. I want mine to be right about there, that far, that much lead from the bob. About, I'd say about 20 inches or so. Because you want your first fly to be at least 18 inches away from the bobber to give you a good enough distance so that you don't spook the fish. So we'll give us about 20 inches. I'd say that's about right. Yeah, I'd say that's about better. That's a little better. All right. Okay. You're gonna need a little bit extra slack for when you go to tie your knots. Put your split shot on there. Grab your handy dandy pliers that you keep in either your jacket or your fishing box. Give that a good old squeeze. Bam. And you're good to go on that part. That's phase one complete. Now, what you do with the green thing, the bob stop, is then let me get a little bit more slack here. Is that you take this and you put this about, I'd say anywhere from 6 to 8 inches from the top of your bob. And then you take the little black piece, hold the strings, take the black piece, pull it right out. Bam. Well, yeah. Hands are a little slippery. It's hot out here. Take that piece out. And then you take that to the bottom, and you take that one to the top. Bam. And you give it a pull. Right? And now from here, you can adjust how deep you want everything to be, how far away you want it to drift, depending on whether you're in a stream or at a pond, or out in the open bay or any kind of open body of water. You know, you can adjust it according to such. So we've got our lead right here. It's about 20 inches, maybe a little bit more. And so the next thing to go on will be our floater fly. Get that up there. Now some of these eyes are a little difficult to get through, so bear with me. Seems like this one's got like a little bit of glue in it or something. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a hook. And just try to open that up a little bit. There's definitely something blocking it there. Not to hurt the fly too much. Alright, should be good. Should be good to go. Damn, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, and like I said, you want this first one, to be at least 18 inches from the bottom of your bobber setup. We're gonna come to right about here. You can see that's about 18 inches or so. Yeah, from that to that. A little out of view. Small camera right now. I promise to get a better setup soon. So that's about 18 inches right there. So we'll do that. Bam. And I'll show you how to tie the knots too. Easiest knot to learn how to tie. You take this side and this side, and then you just come together and pinch it in the middle somewhere. Make sure your lead's pretty long because you're going to need a little bit of slack for when you go to tie the next knot for your second fly. So you just take that right there and get it to about that length, and then you're just going to wrap it around. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than this. It's a little confusing to get it first. You will probably get it twisted or tangled a couple times before you get it down, but it's kind of almost like braiding something. You just take it around and around and around, making sure your front lead line and the line that your loop line never get tangled. You're always twisting them in the same fashion, in the same direction. Always like that, because if your lead line gets in between that hole right there, that makes the entire knot ineffective, and it will come undone as soon as you get the knot tied. As soon as you go to pull that final, that final slack, it's gonna come apart every time. So we've done that about 4 or 5 times. You don't need to go crazy when doing the fly. You don't want the knot to be too big, because it's all about presentation with these ones. All about presentation. So I skipped a step for you guys. Damn, sorry. Get that undone and just take that back out. So after you've done got it twisted, you'll see a little loop at the top. You just put the lead line through the loop at the top and pull the lead line tight, making sure that it's not around the hook at the bottom. Everything's clean. Everything's where it's supposed to be. Pull that tight till it looks like that, not a jumbled mess. And then you take your main line and let go of everything else, and you pull your main line while holding the hook, and it comes together just like that. Now, it works a bunch better. It works so much better with braided line versus this plastic line and fluorocarbon, because this stuff is so slippery. So for instance, I could take the lead line and just pull this knot right out. It's like a slip knot. But so what I like to do is I like to just give it a nice bow tie knot. Not really a bow tie, but a simple knot, one that you would do if you were a child and didn't know how to tie knots. I like to do a couple of those. If I could just get it in there. I like to do a couple of those just to secure that main knot, just to make sure that doesn't come out or come undone, or a fish might break it or anything. I'm just making sure. Nothing wrong with a little extra assurance. Don't know why I just bit that off. That was not the right thing to do. So, unfortunately, I'm only going to be able to show you how to tie first fly on there. Normally, you would just take the second fly, repeat the process over again, and boom, you have two fly setup. You can do one fly. I actually like doing one fly a little bit more because you don't have to deal with as much tangling. Now, if you throw a small split shot on right above the second fly, then that'll most likely prevent anything from happening tangle wise. But yeah, so there you guys have it. That's what I'm going to be used to fishing, to go fishing. That'll probably be the first thing that I use when we get the boat onto the water. But for now, thanks for watching, and this is Outdoor Zach out.